What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about some of my UFC hot takes. Now, I wouldn't say that some of these are hot takes. Maybe someone will agree with them, but I do think I have one or two that a lot of people are gonna, I wouldn't say frown upon, but they're gonna look at with a bit of hesitance, I guess you could say. Let's get right into it with my first take being, I don't think BSD will ever be champion. Now, when I say this, I don't think BSD is a bad fighter. I think he's a good fighter. I just think his performances over some fights have been overrated, I would say. His past fight against Hooker, that's a good win. Hooker is a good fighter. I don't think he's a great fighter. And to be honest, I don't think that's a fight that should get him in the top five. It's a bit crazy to me that he is now in the top five. But that Hooker win was good. Uh, in my opinion, he lost the first round. The body shots that Hooker was giving, he has great body kicks, were affecting BSD greatly. And then even BSD said to himself, he just stopped giving a fuck. You know, he stopped overthinking shit and just went full force, took him down. Second round, TKO. That's a great win, good performance. And then the Dariush win, I think the way he won and the performance, I think that makes someone, that makes someone think, oh wow, this guy's a great fighter. But in actuality, Dariush, he's on his way out. He is a shell of the person he once was. He even said it himself recently that his next fight could be his retirement fight. So I don't think that's a great win. What I do think is a great win is his win over Rufi. I think Rufi is. I think that's one of the one of the wins a fighter can have that is going to age greatly. I think Rufi is going to do great in the UFC. He just knocked out Fiziev, which nobody's really done that in a while. Fiziev just lost to, before this, he just beat Bahamondes, which is a good win, and then lost to a Justin Gaethje on short notice, which a lot of people think that he actually did win. So I think that's a great win for Rufi, and then a great win for BSD. And then his win over Kyle Prepelec, I don't think that's that good. I saw a lot of people say that after that performance. A lot of people were like, dude, this guy's fucking crazy. This guy's a madman. No, BSD's striking is absolutely atrocious. It's dog shit. His biggest weapons are his grappling, which is really good, and his mindset, I guess. Like I said, he stopped overthinking in that Hooker fight and just went full force. He's a great mindset. He bites down on the mouthpiece, whatever. He's a good marauder. I just don't think he's going to be champ. The lightweight division, he doesn't beat anyone in the top five. He gets destroyed by Holloway. I would pick Oliveira to submit him in the first round. He gets steamrolled by Sarukian. Maybe I would say I can't believe I'm saying this. It's a 50-50 fight against Gaethje. Maybe not even 50-50, whatever. Maybe that's a close fight. And I don't even want to imagine what Topuria would do to BSD. That might be the first UFC death, honestly. And I think Pimblett beats him too. There's some other fighters on here that could give him, a tough performance. Chandler, I think Chandler beats him. Or not, I think he beats Chandler, sorry. Dariush, we already saw that shit. I think Fiziev could beat him, to be honest. I think the only downside for Fiziev would be his cardio. And if the cardio would give out for Fiziev, I think BSD would destroy him like he destroyed Hooker. But here's another take. I think Ziem beats him. I think Ziem is an underrated fighter. I think I could see Ziem being in the top five in maybe a year or two. And I think he beats BSD. He's got good grappling. He's got good stand-up. He just beat Nazim Sadikov, which is a good win. I honestly could see him beating BSD. Now, a lot of people are probably going to be seeing this and being like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? I think on the feet, Nazim fucking destroys BSD. I think the grappling is the only department that it could be 50-50. And even in that department, I think Ziem could still win. Yeah, a few hot takes in that one. But let's get on to the next one, similar to this one. Carlos Prates. I don't think he's going to be champ. Now, if somebody were to ask me who would I pick to be champ, like who's likelier to be champ, BSD or Prates, I would obviously go with Prates. I think Prates is a better fighter than BSD. I think he's a great fighter, actually. But the welterweight division is just, it's fucking stacked. Islam, JDM, Gary, Morales, even, Bilal. I think Bilal is underrated, to be honest. Um, but, I mean, the rest of the division, not the best look. I don't get how Colby Covington, actually, it seems like maybe he's not in the top 15. I think Page took the top 15. But still, Daniel Rodriguez, what the fuck happened to him? First of all, I think he lost against the Holland fight, but even if he did win, lose, whatever, terrible performance by both of them. But I saw someone say that he's in prison. What the fuck are we talking about? What are we doing, D-Rod? Dude, what? Gilbert Burns, he's on his way out. I don't think he's ever going to get a top 15 win again. Bonfirm, whatever. I think Carlos beats him. But I just don't think Prates is going to be champ. I think Islam destroys him. I think JDM destroys him. Maybe not destroys him, but I think that's a competitive fight. But I think JDM beats him. It's rumored that that's the main event for Sydney, Fight Night Sydney, which I believe takes place in April. It's rumored that they're going to be the main event for that. I think JDM beats him. I think he has I don't think JDM has great boxing. I think he's just too slick for Prates and beats him, gets a comeback win after being dominated by Islam. And like I said, I think Islam beats him on the ground. We haven't really seen a lot of grappling from Prates. We haven't seen someone take him to the ground, see Prates, kind of work his way up. I guess you could say with the Leon fight and shit, Leon is not a grappler. Islam is the best grappler in the UFC right now, and I think Islam demolishes Prates. We already saw what happened with Gary versus Prates, and even after that fight, a lot of people, I've seen people say, dude, I think Prates could beat Gary. I think he could beat him in the rematch. I don't think so. Yeah, Prates has looked significantly better since their fight, but that was against Jeff Neal, and the Leon Edwards fight is great, but still, I think Gary outstrikes him. Not even outgrapples him. I think he outstrikes him. Carlos Prates' biggest weakness is like lateral movement, which Gary is amazing at. So fast movements like that, I don't think he stands a chance. I think Prates still loses to Gary. Morales, that's a 50-50 fight, to be honest. I think I'd really like to see that fight. And Bilal, I think that's closer than a lot of people think. I think a lot of people, would put Prates to knock him out in round one. And yeah, that could be the most likely outcome, but still, I think Bilal puts up a challenge. I just don't see him being champ. That's probably a hot take too. Let's get on to the next one. Okay, so this is the hottest take in this video. Now, don't flame me for this. I may be a little biased because I love Blessed. I love Max Holloway. But Holloway's Topodia's hardest opponent at 155. Yeah, I said it. I still think so. Now, the Sarukian fight versus Topuria, I think Sarukian gets dog walked. In the Charles fight versus Topuria, a lot of people were like, "Oh, Charles didn't shoot takedowns. Charles didn't try to grapple. We didn't see that." Dude, Oliveira shot like 3 takedowns. Topuria literally put him in a crucifix. Who's ever put Charles in a fucking crucifix? We didn't. What? It was a close fight between Oliveira and Sarukian. It was not even a fight for Topuria against Oliveira. That shit was a massacre. And in their first fight with Holloway versus Topuria, Holloway didn't do bad. This might be a hot take too, but I think I think Holloway did a better job against Topuria than Volk did. That might be a hot take. But still, 2 judges had the rounds going for Topuria 2018. I disagree. I think it was 19-19. I think it was split even going into the third round. Holloway looked really good. And, Holloway moved up to lightweight, and it's kind of like a trade-off. Ever since he moved up, he lost a bit of chin, albeit he is getting older, which greatly affects chin, Uh, but he loses chin, but gains, I wouldn't say knockout power, but more power. He dropped, we all saw what happened to Gaethje, you know, and then we saw him. Did he drop Dustin? I think he did. I know he badly hurt him multiple times, but yeah, it kind of seems like he traded some of the chin for power. And in Topuria versus Holloway, Holloway landed really good shots. He just didn't really have power. Now I don't think he could KO Topuria, but I still think he could put up a better fight than Sarukian. I wonder what people are gonna say about this. I know this is a hot take, and like I said, I might be biased because I love Holloway. I love Topuria too, but shit, I think Holloway is Topuria's hardest opponent. Next, Alex Pereira versus Tom Aspinall is not close. I see a lot of people thinking and saying, dude, I think Alex Pereira could just catch him with a left hook, a 1-2. I think he could just do it. I think the leg kicks are going to be too much. No. One, I don't think this fight's going to happen. Two, if it were, Tom Aspinall is just going to fucking take him down in the first 30 seconds. He even said it himself. He's going to do I think it's called a spear tackle from rugby. He's going to dive for those legs. And Pereira's not going to, catch him with an uppercut on the way in. He ain't going to do that shit. Tom Aspinall is going to get that takedown and submit him round 1. It is not close. It is not. I don't think he's going to struggle for the takedown. I don't think he's going to struggle holding Alex down. No, I don't think so at all. People see the Ankalaev performance in the first fight and say, oh shit, Pereira's grappling is amazing. No. It's good, but I don't think it's amazing. I don't think it's better than Aspinall's. I think Aspinall submits him. I think the hardest opponent for Tom Aspinall is opponents like Cyril Gane, which we saw. Fighters who are light on their feet, pop a jab, do the sweet pea special, shit like that. And that's not Alex. Alex isn't ploddy. He's not a plodster. But I don't think he could beat Tom Aspinall. And yeah, puncher's chance. It could always happen. No, I think Tom Aspinall goes in there, takes him down easily, and submits him easily. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And this is my favorite take. Flyweight is better than Bantamweight right now. It kind of seems to me like Bantamweight is what Flyweight used to be. If you guys watched back in those times, Flyweight really just was Figgy versus Moreno 3 fucking times. A lot of rematches and shit. And then Pantoja came along, rematch against Moreno, rematch against Royval, shit like that. That's what Bantamweight is right now. We saw Sugar versus Merab 2. Why was this a thing? Why did he get a rematch? Immediate rematch, too. Dude, his only defense was against Cheeto Vera. What the hell? The only good that came from this fight was Merab's performance and his first finish in a couple years. That was good. It just solidified. I guess it just solidified Merab as one of the GOATs. And then after the Corey fight, he, in my opinion, did become the GOAT of the bantamweight division. And then you had the fight against Merab versus Jan 2, which I'm not complaining about. This was a great fight. It was a banger fight. Barn burner. Jan's performance, one of the best performances I or anyone else probably have ever seen. I'm not complaining about it. What I am complaining about is, not complaining, I just really hope we don't see Jan versus O'Malley 2. this shouldn't have to be a thing. O'Malley did not win this. This was one of the robberies of all time. I mean, fuck. Look at DC in the background. He's about to go eat, and he's looking like, how did this guy win? I've never met anyone who have said that O'Malley won that fight. Literally everyone I've talked to, everyone I've seen online said that that was a robbery, and it was. And it sucks that if Jan, defends his belt against Merab, this is a possibility. And I just don't think, if Jan defends the belt, he wins against Merab, I don't think the UFC is going to have O'Malley fight again. I think it's going to be, right away title shot for O'Malley, which is, what are we doing? What are we doing? A title shot over Yadong. I mean, Yadong's a good fighter, but O'Malley just lost 2 title fights back to back. Shouldn't be a thing. It's disgraceful. But in flyweight right now, we have fighters like Joshua Van, who's champ, albeit in a bit of a controversial way of becoming champ. Pantoja versus Joshua Van ended with Pantoja. I think it was breaking an arm. I think that's the, diagnosis. He broke his arm or just fucked up his elbow. A lot of people think that that should not have been a TKO win for Van. To be honest, I kind of agree. But whatever. New blood. Love Van. Everyone loves Van. But you also have fighters like Cap, who just obliterated Royval. Who's ever done that to Royval? Round 1, brutal KO. Royval just fought against Joshua Van, and I think it should have been fight of the year, but that was competitive. That went to the decision. Royval gets slumped out cold by Cap. That's dude, that I wouldn't say prospect because he's not a prospect. We know how good he is, but Van versus Cap, that's a banger of a fight. And then you also have fighters like Tatsuro Taira, who just beat Brandon Moreno via TKO. To be honest, I think it was a bit of an early stoppage, but still, he looked great. That was a great performance. He's up there. I didn't put him up, but you also have like the Gooch, Kyoji Horiguchi, who looked great against Amir, great against Tagir that round. But you have these fighters who are just looking unstoppable. But in the bantamweight division, you have Figgy. You have Marlon Vera in the top 10? What are we doing? Now I get it. Marlon Vera is about to face David Martinez, and I would bet my house on Martinez. Maybe maybe I should knock on wood because anything can happen. But shit, dude, Figgy looked terrible against Umar. It literally looked like he just showed up for the paycheck. And then he just beat Montel Jackson. What does that say about the future of the top 15? Yeah, there's probably some good prospects. But, dude, Figgy completely washed. Just beat Montel Jackson. That is not a good look. That was terrible. A lot of people say robbery. Doesn't matter. It shouldn't have been that close. Figgy's washed. Get him out the top 10. Marlon Vera, what are you doing still in the top 10? You haven't won a fight since 2023. And with that fight, that was a Pedro Munoz fight. And he got a title shot off of that? Simply because he won and beat Sugar O'Malley on the upcoming, That's the only reason he got the title shot. And he got fucking outclassed and dominated by O'Malley in that title shot and still hasn't won. He just got dropped by Figgy. But not dropped. Not just recently, but he did get dropped. But shit, why are these fighters still in the top 10? I don't get it. I didn't have them up, but you have people like Alman Zabazi. Did I fuck that guy's name up? I'm not a casual, I swear. It's a hobby. Sorry, it's a hobby. Who's a good fighter, but it's kind of boring. And then Bautista, that's a good fighter. But look at what just happened against Bautista versus Vinicius Oliveira. That was embarrassing for Oliveira. It just speaks to the future. Whatever. Yeah, flyweight, in my opinion, better than bantamweight. Sue me. The last one is I just want to quickly discuss the pound for pound list. It's fucked up. I don't think Islam is number one. I think Ilya is. A lot of people say that the pound for pound list is based on like domination, performances, and everything. If that's true, put Ilya number one. He just ragdolled Charles. He KO'd Max Holloway, KO'd Volk. 3 dominations. Wouldn't even say domination because it didn't even last that long. Islam just beat JDM 50-45. That was dominant, very dominant. One of the most dominant wins of all time. Besides that, a submission win in round 1, albeit, but a submission win over Moicano. That's one of the reasons why he's number 1. Are you kidding me? And then before that, a war with Dustin Poirier. That makes him pound for pound number 1. I disagree. I don't think so. And then Chimaev number 3. Nah, get the fuck out of here. This doesn't have to do with anything with the pound for pound list, but he's actually the worst champ right now. If Dricus still had the belt, everyone knows that Dricus would have a title fight announced by now. Chimaev, fuck. It's anyone's guess when he's gonna fight next, which is just a damn shame. But I don't think he should be number 3. Yeah, he dominated Dricus. That's cool. Put him at like fucking 7 or something. Before that, he won against Robert Whittaker. That's a great win, I guess. Yeah, not I guess. It's a great win. But then, like a win over Usman, which I don't think was a win. That was not a robbery, but I think that should have been a draw. And I've seen a lot of people say the same thing. But all like those 3 wins get you number 3. I don't think so. And also, listen, I love Volk. He is one of my favorite fighters. But I do not think he is above Alex Pereira in the pound for pound list right now. I don't think so. Volk just beat Diego Lopez 2 times convincingly. You know, it wasn't. I'd say it was competitive, but it wasn't a domination. And then you have Alex Pereira who just knocked out Ankalaev in the what was it, like 20 seconds? Alex should be number 5. I mean, fuck, they're both named Alex. Pereira should be number 4, and Volk should be number 5. And there's other changes you could do down the list, but I don't want to get to that right now. I just wanted to bring those few up. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys disagree with any of my takes. I understand that the Max one is a bit of a hot take. But shit, it's what I think. Hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for the next one. See you later.